Shot 21 here. So last time we finished buttoning up the overdrive. This time we are gonna install a shift kit. And I say this time because it's sort of an intermediate step. Because you got to do some work on this intermediate shaft. But we also have to do some work on the valve body itself. So this is going to be the valve body episode, I think. It just, to me, makes sense to do the valve body stuff now. And then do the grinding and drilling on the intermediate shaft. Just so that we're not, you know, crossing the same bridge twice, so to speak, and breaking things that don't need broken. So let me make some space on the bench here, and then we'll start on the valve body. All right, so the shift kit we're going to install is a TransGo Shift Kit Jr. This is a fairly common shift kit. Actually, I want to dump this first. First step is we need this piece, which is the top segment. I'm going to blow it out with a little brake clean. So there's a couple things that we have to do. Up in this void, you can drill 2 holes at most. You can do 1 or 2, varying 76 thousandths to 96 thousandths. So that's what we're going to do first. We want to check in here and make sure there's no cross-drilled holes. There are not. That's good. The next thing that we need to do is up here, where the manual valve goes, we file a notch across top to bottom, about halfway across. But first we're going to do that hole. So I need my drill, and I'm going to do this sort of off to the side, in case I ever decide I want to do a second one. Okay, so that one is done. One hole is going to give a slightly firmer lockup, 2 will give you a much firmer lockup. Well, that's not bad. We'll run it. So I'll come back when this is done and I'll show you what we look like. So that's done and been cleaned up. Now, it wants to install the detent and the arm and everything now. I'm not going to do that. I do need to find the arm. It's back over here. Mainly because I just need the rooster comb and this. I don't even need the rooster comb right now. We need the comb for testing the fitment, or the fit up rather, of the new manual valve. Now, for those not familiar, the manual valve is what moves around when you move the gear shift. This is the factory one. This is the updated one. So you have to check these lands here. So you come down 1, 2, 3, fourth land. And when it's in park, which it is, the top of the tapered seat, so this piece needs to be flush with the top of this, plus or minus 30 thousandths. So you got a little bit of wiggle room. This one looks fine as it stands right now, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Now, there's one other thing that we need to do in terms of spools here. And you need to check and see if you've got the 3-land switch valve or the 4-land switch valve. This is the 4-land version. The 3-land version doesn't have this, and this one has moved over a little bit. We have a 4. Now, it says to grind an angle to the middle of this seat. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to be all the way around or just one. I'm going to double check that before I do it, but it goes, you know, goes in there. So, that looks good. All right, next step, we're going to put this back off to the side. Next step goes into the middle separator plate. So we have a new one of these filters, so this goes away. Couple things to do on this plate. So we have the LR hold. So when we put this together, we need to make sure there's a check ball under it. Now, we need to come down and find this hole. Should be 110 or at a minimum. So we're going to go grab that 111 drill bit we got, or 113 drill bit. And, yep, goes right through. Okay. So we need to find B, which is right over here. That is undersized. So we need to update B. Now hole 1, 2 is right here. V6s and V8s. We don't have a V6 or a V8. That's fine. And hole 2, 3 is right here. We can drill that one out to 86. 082 to 086. Because we're a light duty vehicle. If we're a heavy duty vehicle or heavy loads, we can go 093 to 096. I just want to go to 082, 086, somewhere in there. We'll open that one up. This one, we could probably open up to, you know, 073 to 076. So let's do that one to start with. So this is good. I had the filter cartridge over here somewhere. There it is. So here's the new filter. Okay. So if you look on the back page of this, it shows you that it's just a notch across. It doesn't do it all the way around. So we're going to do that notch. I'll do that off camera and I'll come back when that's done. All right. So you can see how I've cut a flat onto that side. So that's what we needed to do. All right. So I got to do a little more cleanup here. Mainly on this lower separated plate, and then of all the faces for the mating circle. This all ready to go back together, near as I can tell. All right, so we can start tossing this together. Now, I learned this the last time I did this transmission. Well, not this one, the one that's currently in the Jeep. Lube these things before you put them in. Now this first spring that I'm attempting to put in is a tricky one. It has everything. That's tricky. Yeah, I got it. Okay, that's in. Okay. So that pin's in. I've got two things that need to live in here. There was a spool stuck in there, so I put that back in. And then this spool Goes in like that. And then it is covered by, not that plate, this plate. I'm not sure that goes that way. Okay. Cleaned everything up. I put the jack balls in here. I assembled the mid-plane assembly. There's some back together that I want to do before I want to put this all together. It is a T25 to tighten all these down. You know, I've got some weirdness here that needs addressing, and I think I've put a couple pieces on the bottom wrong. We'll get there. So, all right, this is this force spool that goes in top. Let's go there. No, that's going to Okay, so that's done. Okay, that's assembled now. Okay, that goes in. That goes in. And then that goes in. And then this. So that one. Okay. That works. All right, so that's all. Okay, so I'm just going to around now. All right. Not sure if that goes. So that's all on. Okay, so we spin this around now. All right. And that cover plate goes. I want to say that's correct, but I'll double check that. This is the TV valve assembly. That goes in there. I'm going to leave that open just because I think I'm going to have to go back in and pull that apart. This goes on just like that. That goes there. That goes there. And then that go in there with this plug. That plug is for these. Because that goes on like that. Now, there's a couple things that we do get with this kit here. We get a few things here. So there is a hole here. There is a bushing, like it's pounded in there. It says at least an inch, but basically it just has to get below that port. There is this spring. There's a new spring for here. This spring and this spring replace the ones on the PR valve. The two shims also go on the PR valve. This bucket replaces this bucket on the reverse side that holds the pressure release in. So, a few things to do. I'll do those tomorrow. We'll get this buttoned up, and then I'll get on to the intermediate shaft. So, we are at the stage of needing to drive that pin in. First thing first. Take that out. All right. So this has a little orifice. Now I drive it in with the open side down. That just, you know, to me makes sense. I have a set of brass punches here, which I think I've got one or two that are the appropriate size for going in the middle there. So that's in. Now, while we've got it apart, and while we're here, we might as well try to find the correct replacement seals for this piston. Excuse me. Because there is a piston in there that does have some seals. Letters B. Sorry. Letters A from the bottom. Yeah, those are correct. Now there is, remember, a spring, there is this spring. Go there. I seem to like this spring as well, and that. Someone does that. Whatever. That goes there. It is this one, right? And this place is very warm, so this has some issues. See, that's one quite badly. Now, there is, again, remember, a new spring. It is this spring that goes in there. Now, I have seen people take this spring as well and double it up. So I'm going to do that as well. Okay. That goes there. It is. Right. And this place is very warm, so this has some issues. See, that's one quite badly. Yeah, this plate is very worn, so this has had some issues. See, that's worn quite badly. All right, so that's ready to go. This clips on in front, and then the cover plate goes on here. I didn't check that last night. So for the moment, I am going to put this in place just to try to trap everything. All right, so that's good to go. I've got that there, that there. All right, we've got a couple more things, and that's what I thought we flopped over last night. So let's see if we broke anything or lost anything. Okay. Broke? No. Lost? No. Bounced some shit around? Yes. Okay. So we've got I'm not going to drill this top cover. Well, I might. There is this spool and this plug. The plug goes in first, the spool second. This spring then goes on. This bucket likes to fail, so we're going to throw it out because we came in, or the shift kit comes with a reinforced bucket. That will then go in there. Going to pop this cover plate. This new cover plate. Okay, so checking my video notes here. So this is at 49 thousandths. It's an exhaust orifice. It exhausts this port. This port controls the torque converter clutch application. Now, Chrysler says it's too small. It's at 49 thousandths, I believe. It should be drilled up to 69 thousandths. I didn't get a 69 thousandths drill bit. I will order one of those. If it's here before Monday, when I put this thing all back together, I'll drill it out. If not, that's fine. I've got a 76, an 82, 110, and some 200 thousandths ones. This sits over top of a few things here. Yeah. This is the, I don't know, plate that's used for setting TV valve and, valve response timings and pressure plates and all that fun stuff on the set of spools around here, because it lives kind of right here. And it has quite a bit of adjustment allowed. On the Shift Kit Jr kit, so we're going to put this all on. Because there's a right way, a wrong way, and the shift kit way. So this shift kit shipped with a few things. There's a shim with a notch and a round shim. the shim, the round shim, slips on like that. Then the shim with the notch slips on just above that. From there are two springs that go on. There's this tightly coiled inner spring, and then there's this looser coiled outer spring. All of that seats onto this spring plug. You cannot forget this white spring that goes on the forceful valve, and then there's the orange spring that goes on, or no, there isn't a spring that goes on, the spring's in there for that one already. So this is a little tricky here when all of this goes together. Because there's a screw that lives here, a screw on top here, and then there is a screw hole here. The one we really need to get first is here. This one can wait to the end. This one can wait to the end. This is a tight Okay. And then yeah, that drops in from the top. We got a few things to do on this first. Well, I've got one more thing to do on the basic button up here, and that is make some adjustments to this. Well, clean it up first. This is the governor pressure sender and governor solenoid housing. Alright, this is the older style. Older style one. So there is an internal clip that needs to get pulled off. And then it pops out. From there, I want to clean out the old fluid. And we've got a fresh set right here. So, fresh governor pressure sensor and thermistor. But we don't really care about the thermistor on this one. That goes in. That clip got bent. Okay. So that one's done. And that bracket is the retention bracket for the governor pressure solenoid. Alright. This is the new governor pressure solenoid. Given the condition of the former one, this needed replacing. It slots right in there. Now, I forgot a step here, but we'll cover that in a minute. The step I forgot was this. Putting this on. This is the new solenoid set. This came with a gasket. The kit came with gaskets. Now, the solenoid kit drops in right here. This 2-pin goes to that. This 4-pin goes to that sensor. But you'll notice this is a flat 4-pin, and that one is a round 4-pin. BD Diesel. This is the kit. It says 48RE. It works on the 42s as well. Sells this. This is an adapter that goes from the round or oval 4-pin style connector to the rectangular style 4-pin connector. It uses 3 pins from that, because that's what you need for pressure. And then it's got the correct thermal transducer built into here. So that plugs right into this. And then this plugs into your transducer. I gotta take this back apart and fix that, and I gotta look at that. But that's where we stand right now. Tore this thing apart a little bit. Forgot a couple things. All right, so this is correct, this arrangement. Is all correct. These will only go in one port. So this one with the spool goes in here. This one without the spool goes in there. And this one with the spring goes in there. There's a buffer system in place. So that all goes in. And I'll need to grab my torque wrench, and I believe these torque to 115 inch-pounds. Also, I figured out that, a 1/16 of an inch should be 0.625, so we're going to drill that out to a 1/16, but I'll do that in a minute. Because we have to take this apart a little bit more, because I forgot a ball bearing that should be in here. Luckily, we just have to take this side off. Okay. So I actually might not have missed a ball bearing. Nope. Okay, this is a pre-96 build. So in a 96 or older, there's a check ball, there's a channel in this port, as opposed to just being all the way through. If it's got the channel, there's a check ball that lives in there. If it doesn't have a channel, there's no check ball. So I'm not hallucinating, this one had no check ball. We're going to check and make sure all the check balls are in there correctly. And in there correctly, and they are. And I actually probably need to leave this off so I can put these in. Alright, let me grab my torque wrench here and a T25. Because this has to get torqued on before you can put everything else together. Okay. This will only line up one way, so there's no real issue there. Okay. We got a bunch of other ports to close up, mainly this one next, because I can't get to it once this is on. Just need to do a sanity check. The front hole needs to go to between 187 and 200 thousandths. Now it says, going through the surface hardening about 16th and 3/8 wide. 4 spots above and below hole C and D. Even if your shaft doesn't have hole D, drill out to 200 thousandths. I don't have a D in mine. So here's what we've got. I've got an A, but if we look, I have C. I don't have D. And my C only is one side. So I'm going to drill out A. We'll drill out C all the way through, and we'll drill out a D all the way through. And that's all I'm going to do. I don't want to go too far with doing this. So this may take a couple times because the drill batteries are charging. This bit that I've got is a 187. So this front hole is a 187 already. Cool. this is how